with the Assassin's Cast.
Last week we of course already gave people a sort of pre-look at the podcast that we want to do.
Yeah, it was a little teasing.
Yes, and now we're really here. I think it's all live. I think it's all well. Thanks everyone for joining here. That's kind of the plan. Every week on Wednesday this time, so that would be 3 p.m. Central European time, 6 a.m. very early if you're in the Pacific. East Coast is 9 a.m. So we want to go live, talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows with you. If you're watching live, if you're listening later, that's of course also great. But yeah, if you want to catch it live, it's on the YouTube page and the Twitch page. And yeah, I'm not alone. You already heard him. Fragnard is here as well, or I should say Frankie Boy, because that's his English channel, the German legend. Hey.
Thank you so much, mate. Good to see you, and thank you for having me on the podcast.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, the Dutch legend himself, the man, the machine.
Whoa. The machine.
JorRaptor.
Is that a good thing? I'm not sure if that's
I mean, you like Horizon.
Oh, yeah, in that way. Yeah, sure. I totally think, like, that's kind of my prediction, that during this show, PlayStation will announce their showcase, because we, of course, have rumors that they're gonna do something big at the end of the month. That's probably gonna be next week, so high chance that, that we're gonna hear that. And I would not be surprised if someone in the chat suddenly says, oh, they announced it. But we will see. Yeah, I see some people...
too.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be there. But Ghost of Tsushima is something we just cannot talk about on this show. It's like Assassin's Creed focused. Okay, no, I'm kidding. We can do anything we want. Afrophonics said in the chat, "Is this a new podcast?" Yes, it is. Every week on Wednesday we wanna come together, Frankie Boy and me. Is it okay if I just call you Frankie? It's maybe the easiest way.
Sure.
Because
it makes sense.
Yeah, that's how people can find you on YouTube as well for your English content, talking about all sorts of things that we discuss here on the JorRaptor channel as well. So totally check that out. But yeah, we're coming together. We're both heavily invested into the Assassin's Creed series, of course. We've been covering the games since Origins, so we're both also, I think, really invested in the RPG ACs and covering them also post-launch, which I think is a cool sort of take to have. A lot of people, and I totally get it, they just play the game and then they maybe come back for one of the updates or one of the Season Pass DLCs and then they move on. But of course we know that Shadows will be a game that they will support for a very long time, so I think kind of looking at it from that angle will be very interesting as well. And kind of the question I want to start this show with is, how are we feeling? Like 1 week ago, Assassin's Creed Shadows was of course revealed. It's launching of course on November 15th. Already saw some people in the chat say that they already pre-ordered. Real quick, did you get the collector's edition already, or are you kind of holding out for it, or do you think maybe they might send it to you?
I'm hoping they will send it to me.
Oh my god!
Because I think it's already out of stock. I just saw on some Facebook groups, etc. Yeah, it's online again, and everyone was going on it. I mean, the collector's edition looks great. I really like the duo character display, and that stand. It's 70 by 30. It's huge for a thing out of a collector's edition, in my opinion.
Yeah, for people who don't know and are watching the video, I'm gonna pull up the collector's edition right here for people who are not aware. Oh, that's the wrong one. This. Oh, you're not Joyce, so I'm gonna do it like this. This is the collector's edition. I did pre-order it because I'm kind of like, I wanna support them as well. Like for me, and overall, I think there's not really a good reason to pre-order games in general, I would say, because also the hour or even the minute before the game goes live, if you're buying it digitally, then you will of course still get all the benefits and all the stuff. So there's really no reason to already do it right now. With the collector's edition, it's of course different because, like you said, it's already out of stock. It was, I think, available for a few hours in the Netherlands, and that was after someone on Instagram like messaged me, hey, it's now at bol.com, which is like a huge Dutch retailer. So without them, if you would use like the search function, you would get it, but they did not communicate it at all. So you really had to be in the know to get it. And yeah, I have a lot of these statues, so I just want to get them. And overall, I think if you, like us, already know that just like with Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, even Mirage, of course, recently, maybe even the other Assassin's Creed game, you know you're gonna play this day one no matter what. And
anyways, or 3 days ahead with a CE, right?
yeah. So that's another, of course, thing. Like, why not already get it? Because it's been 4 years now, or since Valhalla, like the other big open world RPG, with Mirage, of course,
crazy.
being a smaller title. So it's an event, and I think it's kind of fun to get hyped for that, and that's what
to get that. Yeah, I'm already hyped as well. And I mean, you have this beautiful spot for the figures in your background, so you can really make use out of it.
Yeah, 100%. I have to find some room though. It's really getting to the point where I'm like, how am I gonna fit all these statues? So, I mean, that's of course the beauty of a webcam. Like, it now looks like this room is completely cleaned and there's just a nice, but like behind me or like next to me, there's
the floor is cluttered with collector's editions.
You will never know. You will never know because I will not show that with the webcam. I see a question a lot being asked here, also from Mango. I think that's how you pronounce it. They will show it at Ubisoft Forward in June. I think they're talking about the gameplay, right? Like, that's the expectation, of course. On June 10th, Ubisoft will have their own E3 like show, Summer Game Fest, and they want to probably save the best for last, which is gonna be the gameplay reveal for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and that's how they always do it. Valhalla had a similar kind of thing, although they did this gameplay trailer for 1 minute that everyone got angry about during an Xbox show, but I don't think they will make that same mistake. So yeah, it's high chance. Like last year, we also saw, of course, the Mirage gameplay walkthrough during that June 10th event. Is that how do you expect like a similar sort of walkthrough for Shadows?
Hoping. I mean, the gameplay reveal of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it was something different and not the thing anybody would expect. Somehow like optimized in-game footage, right? And I'm hoping for a 10-20 minute gameplay walkthrough, maybe through a mission, as we had with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I believe it was on Naxos, if I remember that correctly.
They had
Ubisoft themselves, they already leaked that they want to show more of the gameplay in June 2024. So they leaked that in the description of the German version of the trailer reveal. So I think it's June 10th. It must be.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like they want people to watch all the other commercials. I mean, these showcases, even though they're super exciting, they're commercials for all the other games. So, oh, sorry, did I ruin something? No, I think it's my bad. I got super exciting. Yeah, Fragnard is like, where the heck? I can't hear you, but I'm gonna change that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear me again?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Sorry. Yeah. When I like get really excited, then I touch things that I should not be touching, and then you don't hear me anymore. But I think everyone was hearing you still, so that's a good thing.
Okay, great. Great. I was kind of surprised. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, but like again, Odyssey also had a gameplay walkthrough. That was, I think, longer than what they did for Mirage. I think the Mirage one was like 7 minutes or something. For Odyssey, they of course started at the island, the one that was like kind of a with Kira and all that you could like see the romance in action as well. That was a pretty long demo, and they ended of course with a conquest battle, which is all pretty interesting. But I also think that it has to be longer for this game because I do hope they show both characters. Like if we close our eyes, I'm kind of gonna predict what they're probably gonna do. Of course, these walkthroughs are gonna start with a sort of let's get hyped. Like that's of course a trend in general right now, where every trailer starts with a because people have no, like, TikTok, of course, ruined everyone's patience. So now a trailer has to show in the first 10 seconds, this is what you're gonna get in the trailer. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna wait it out. So they're gonna do that as well. Odyssey had that even too, where they already, I think, teased some mythical creatures at the start, and then at the end had this sort of cool wrap up as well. So I think they will do that with Red as well, where it's like boom, 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 cool stuff, and then
Doom, doom. Yeah.
my name is
You gotta do
Jonathan
that.
Dumont. Welcome to the Assassin's Creed gameplay, or Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay walkthrough. We start today
My name
with...
is JorRaptor, and I will host it today.
Oh, that would be cool. I did not get a call yet, so... No, but I think they're gonna start with, of course, one character. Maybe... I think Nawe. I think that makes the most sense. Like, sneak in, use the grapple hook, climb over a wall, use some of the tools, and then we probably... maybe hear someone talk or not. And then I think at one point, of course, Nawe maybe gets caught or
Stealth
something.
action, and then she gets caught, and then Yasuke comes in, smashing walls.
Yeah, something like that, probably. So, and then they will show both characters. But or like Nawe will do a complete stealth walkthrough. Of course, they will show the new mechanics where if you like remove the light, if you like destroy some torches and stuff, you create shadows so she can like move away. Like, they're really gonna focus, I think, on these new stealth mechanics, which are all very exciting. And then at one point she maybe cleared it, and it's like, oh, there are a ton of enemies coming in, and then they go to the menu. I hope they show the menu, which they did not do with the Mirage, of course, but they did do for Odyssey, which was exciting. And then, bam, they show how you can switch, and then I think Yasuke will come in and kill everyone with some cool attacks. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be cool.
My hope is that they somehow show how we interact with the characters, like the two protagonists, how they interact with each other. Maybe they can go on a mission with the two of them. Like we already thought, like Naue is in the shadows, but she somehow gets seen, and then Yasuke breaks in. Maybe that can happen. Or they will like maybe show the same mission with a different approach, Yasuke and Naue. Or Yasuke. I just found out he's pronounced Yasuke.
I mean, it's weird because, like, I watched all the Ubisoft videos as well, and there they also are saying Yasuke. Like, even the Japanese historian that they hired for this project. So I don't think anyone knows how to pronounce it, but in the Netflix show they say Yasuke. So that's where I was like, oh, it's Yasuke. Because they're really like, what is your name? And then, Yasuke says Yasuke. But then Ubisoft says Yasuke. It was a whole thing.
It's weird. I had a Japanese influencer on stream with the trailer reveal.
Cool.
And he's actually a translator. So he translates Japanese games into German. And he was saying like, he said about Yasuke or Yasuke, it's like everything is written in caps lock except for the U. So it's more like a small U. It's like Yasuke.
Okay.
Like you almost swallow the U, but somehow don't. I think, it will be tough to learn that.
Yeah. No, but again, we have to... I'm going with what Ubisoft is going for. Like, they... right? That I think makes the most sense. But yeah, because then they will probably talk about, like, he will probably talk like that in the game as well, right? You would think. That would be my bet.
Let's just see how they pronounce the name and the actors, how
they
spell
we will
it
see.
out. So we have to stick to that anyways, because we won't hear it in any other way.
No. And for you, like, the German voice acting is gonna be interesting for this as well. I already saw you react to the German trailer, like...
Yeah, I was the world premiere for the German trailer, which is funny because
cool.
Ubisoft messed up and they have this multi-language tool on the YouTube premiere, and there was French, but if you selected German, it was French as well. So I was the only one with the German version. It was insane.
Exclusive. That's cool. I want to thank Ajo80191 for gifting a sub to Moustache Man on Twitch there. So appreciate the support.
Moustache Man 66, yeah.
Thanks for that. But yeah, going back basically to the question, and of course, if you have questions in the chat, we of course talked a bit about the gameplay trailer. I think your thing about them probably maybe showing the same mission but with a different character, I think makes sense. What, by the way, happened with Mirage was that they at Ubisoft Forward in LA, they also had someone play in front of the journalists and creators that actually were there. I don't think we both were not there, right? But
I've not been there.
no, but I read the articles and I heard people talk about it, and then that's where they also did that same contract that they of course showed last year at the summer event, and then also did it in a different way. So it could also be that the trailer will just be, hey, we do this part with Naue, the other one with Yasuke, and then that's the trailer. But that the people at LA will actually see, okay, but what if you actually do this mission the other way around or something? So
Yeah.
we can also
Yeah,
see that.
might be happening only for a certain group of people. Totally possible, and we can then talk about it. Hopefully,
Yeah.
if we get to read those articles about it,
Or we
yeah.
will be in the room.
or maybe that. Yeah.
We will see. That would be cool. But now my question to you, the kind of the title of this episode. How are you feeling
How
right
are you
now
feeling?
about the reveal? Was it everything you hoped for? Are you still left with more questions? Do you have hope? Where do you want to start with this?
This is like one of my most favorite moments about new reveals or releases in general. I'm hyped, to be honest. Maybe a little too much than I should be, and I'm really looking forward to it. Especially those new gameplay or engine features like the weather, the seasons. It just sounds so awesome. A little bit too good to be true, and it somehow seems like a real leap that they took with the engine and the franchise as a whole. So it might be a little bit overpromised. I'm not too sure about that. But if they deliver what they promise, it's going to be great, in my opinion. I've also heard it should be like more RPG style Origins Odyssey in that way. And that is totally my type of a game. So yeah, I'm extremely hyped. Maybe more than I should be, because I want to be objective.
We only watched the cinematic. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but I mean, if only half of that is true, it can be great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah. I want to first quickly shout out Prustos. I hope I pronounced that name right. Will Cassandra show up, just like in Valhalla, but in Shadows? As an Odyssey fan, I would love that. So thanks for your support, of course. Yeah. You think so, Frankie boy?
I mean, Frankie boy. Yeah, the cameos are always like, Ubisoft is great at fan service, and they love to do that because fans always fall in love with that. I mean, the Assassin's Creed DLC from Watch Dogs Legion was a fan service. It was great. Like the cameo of Cassandra in Valhalla was great as well. And they added these 3 quests. So I think they somehow will do it, especially with Assassin's Creed Infinity, because that system sounds like it's built for that. So I would expect some kind of surprise.
But do you think it will be in the
3 years later?
Yeah, do you think it will be in the base game? Because no, I don't think so either. And I think
it will be a mechanic to get players back.
Okay, so like an update. I mean, it really worked for Valhalla. Ubisoft, even in their investor call, I think, said that December month when they had that crossover story, it was 2021, right? So
Yes.
1 year after the game was released, was actually the second best month for the game, which is crazy. Next to the launch, of course. So
Then it just makes sense.
Yeah. They gave they released 2 massive free updates with, of course, one for Odyssey as well, which was a huge surprise. Like, that was not on my 2021 bingo card to go back to Odyssey and make new videos on all that sort of stuff that they added, which was like a really cool surprise. Of course, before that we already had the 60 FPS on console, which was super cool. But yeah, I think you're right. They're gonna play this card, of course, but we have to kind of slow down. I'm not sure if you know about the Assassin's Creed Jade mobile game that has Cassandra in the tutorial already.
Yeah, I mean, they based the game on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, as I was told by them on Gamescom.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense to like somehow combine it and get a little bit of fan love into that game, get people hyped. Yeah, I'm curious when that game will come out. Anyways,
that's a whole different story. Yeah, that kind of has gone MIA after that big Gamescom, where they basically said the name and they were said that they were close to being done. They still had to do a beta test that would come early in the year, and we haven't heard anything since. But I think Shadows is gonna launch before this mobile game, which is kind of crazy. I never thought that would happen, but I totally think Cassandra will. Yeah, especially because it's Ubisoft Quebec who created the character. Like, that was of course different with Valhalla. They had to really work together very closely with Montreal to have both a Valhalla update where Cassandra was featured, and of course an Odyssey update that then all made sense. While right now it's all in-house. They can just walk over to this other person's desk and be like,
"Hey man, you created Cassandra."
Yeah, want to do Cassandra? Okay, why not? I mean, they probably already have a plan in place. I'm sure of it. But I also hope that it's not gonna be this like that it's just gonna be too obvious, like every time, or that in the main story at one point you see something. Oh, this is weird. That
Cassandra again.
yeah. I hope that they leave it out of the games and make it like a cool event later on, really as sort of a fan service thing, instead of it being kind of like, oh, Cassandra was alive, so she can appear at any point, and she will, right? So
I see a Greek ship on the horizon, and who is
what
that?
the heck?
Oh, Cassandra! Ahoy!
And we hear the theme song. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I love it. Or maybe Shao Jun appears. Who knows?
Yeah.
From
I
the
mean
Chronicles
that
China, maybe.
Yeah, that I think makes more sense to kind of have as like a cool side thing or something before Cassandra.
Yeah, especially. Ubisoft already teased for the season pass content. It's gonna be based in other countries than the Japanese one.
Did they?
So on the German website, it's called like explore new characters, explore new countries, explore new.
Okay,
quests,
but I think in the English version is areas. So I'm gonna quickly.
Maybe that's a bad translation.
Yeah, maybe it's.
We had a lot of bad translations in the German version, especially for weapons, where you thought like, that's a trash weapon, I'm not gonna use it, and then you put your game to English and you say, wow, that's OP.
Okay, I have it here in front of me. It says 2 upcoming expansions explore new lands, meet new characters, and unravel new mysteries.
Yeah,
I mean,
so in German it's Länder, it's countries basically.
Yeah, but countries mean something different than lands, because lands is like, sure, they could just add a new region and that would be a new land to explore in a way as well, right? So
yeah, let's see which I think the German translation might be wrong here. And,
or they just give all the scoops to Germany. I can totally see that being a thing as well.
Yeah, all the leaks are from Germany.
Yeah.
I mean, Schreier somehow could be a German name, right?
Yeah.
Like Jason. I'm extremely curious. What do you think? We had a lot of these outfits in older Assassin's Creed as a teaser for the new Assassin's Creed. Which one of the last 4 ACs, in your opinion, will get a Japanese outfit for the protagonist, maybe? Or do you think it will even happen at all?
Oh, you think that they will? Because that's I totally forgot about that. Odyssey had like the warfare. What was it called?
Yeah, it was somehow a Viking outfit, I think, or?
Yeah. I remember it as well.
We also had the Ezio outfit, and
no, you're right.
Had this Russian outfit, or
yeah. For Mirage, they had like the whole mission, of course. I think they're probably my prediction. What if they somehow figured it out? They looked at the menus and were like, wait, if we just do copy paste from Mirage and then put it in Valhalla, we suddenly have New Game Plus. That's how game development works. It's very easy. No, but I would not be surprised, and that would be a huge thing and a huge win if they have like a Valhalla thing in like planned where they are like, okay, New Game Plus, we did figure it out. Here it is with then some sort of Shadows outfit. I mean, a samurai outfit would, of course, be the coolest. I mean, we had some of those already with some Helix sets. So I totally think they can do it. But that would, of course, be a really cool surprise and make sense. But if they are going to do a mission, I don't know. I mean, with Mirage, it made a lot of sense to do a mission. Because that, of course, took place after Mirage. So they could do some fun things with Roshan and stuff. But I don't think that will happen for Valhalla.
The time difference is just too huge, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. But having like a samurai outfit, like, I mean, they don't have to explain that because there are so many Helix outfits that the Iron Man outfit, to name an example.
It just doesn't make any difference at all. Like, you can get a modern day outfit even. I mean, the Odyssey, there was once this Helix credits outfit in Odyssey that had modern day parts in it. Like, it was a whole modern day pack.
Yeah, that is another. Maybe I'm giving away prediction because at the end of the show, by the way, for people who are listening, that we want to do predictions. So maybe I'm gonna save this one. I'm gonna save this one that I just thought of. I want to shout out Jonathan Crump, not only for being like a supporter for a very long time. He has the same icon as you. You're both like huge supporters. So thanks for that. He says, will we get the Blade of Yumminess? And I think I'm going to ask this when I get the chance. I mean, I already am preparing a Google Doc with questions because there will be some points in this year where before launch I get to ask questions to developers. At least that has always been the case. So I hope that that's the same, that will happen this year as well. I'm going to ask about this. You remember what that is, right? The Blade of Yumminess.
Yeah, it was that no ability sword with the additional damage, right?
Yeah. 200, I think, % damage, but you could not use any abilities.
I think it was fun to use it, and it made the gameplay a little bit more challenging. But I loved the abilities so much that I didn't want to use it. How about you? Prefer abilities or damage?
I mean, I have it here on screen for people who are unfamiliar. 250 actually % all damage, but cannot use abilities. I just thought it was like a very, very fun way to kind of to add this, and it really changed the playstyles a lot. And it was a free weapon. Yeah. Like, remember how they added this? I totally forgot about that, but now that I'm thinking of it, it kind of feels like pre-Helldivery, and I'm maybe giving them a bit too much credits, but this was like a secret thing they added with one of the updates, where all of a sudden people were reporting that the blacksmith is suddenly selling legendary weapons, and this also where the sun had appeared.
That crazy one.
That I don't think like it removed fire damage or something, or it didn't do anything. There was something. I do think it like made you like you could not burn anymore, I think, when using that. But yeah, they added like a few of these very fun weapons. They were super expensive, as you see on screen as well. It's like 1,300,000, almost like 1,400,000, which is kind of wild, but it did like scale with your level, so that's a level 99 one. But I think that's a very good question, Jonathan. And they have like only we will understand. But it will be such a fun Easter egg if they add this to the game.
It will be. And they somehow always plant these Easter eggs for the diehard fans in the games. So just a little thing you can only understand if you played a lot of Assassin's Creed or really dig into it. Like maybe a cameo. I don't know. Maybe we will even get some mysterious trader back in the game with his caravan.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool as well. Yeah, I mean, they can do a lot of stuff. But of course, with this being from Odyssey and being a katana already, it just seems like a very logical thing. But on the other hand, we have to, of course, wait and see what the perks are going to look like. Like, I remember playing Valhalla before release and looking at my inventory, and all the perks were not even in the game. Like, they it really felt, and we saw it, of course, at launch, like an afterthought in that game. And yeah, that turned out to be kind of true, where they even had like caps, so you could not go above a certain amount of attack. Or, yeah, you attack points, 20 attack points. What did it even do? We had to go to the dummies in Norway to figure out that basically all the perks were useless. And that was, of course, not the case in Odyssey. It had a huge impact. So it makes me hopeful that it will not be in Shadows because, of course, they're the same team. But I'm curious if they're going for the same perks again, like in a like in an Odyssey, where you have like the assassin, warrior, or hunter damage. They're probably not gonna do that again, you would think, right?
Doesn't make sense for the character setup, yeah. But you
yeah.
can split it up, yeah.
Yeah, but that I'm in particular very, and we're already getting very nerdy here. Welcome to the show. But I'm already getting very interested in the katana itself, because that seems to be the only weapon, at least for as far as we know, that both characters can use. So that's pretty interesting, right? Because we of course have the Ultimate Edition, and I'm gonna put that on screen as well for people who are not familiar. Oh wait, I can better do the Limited Edition. Because there we see that you have like the one for, let me get it here. They have like the Naoe character pack, and they have the Yasuke character pack, and they both have the katana. So they both have the weapon that they can use, and that's of course the katana. So while we know of course that the Kanebo mace that Yasuke has is exclusive to him, the Yari spear seems exclusive to him, the rivals seem exclusive to him, the bow seems exclusive to him. While, of course, Naoe can use the Hidden Blade in combat in combination with a small knife. And, of course, has the Kusarigama, like, flail pickaxe combo as well, which is really cool. But
Shuriken,
yeah, so
everything.
I'm really curious how that is gonna work, and how the katana seems then to be a very special weapon. It might just not be useful for any of them. Or maybe you always have a katana on you, and then you switch out the second weapon depending on the character. That might actually not be.
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
I mean, you totally need your katana in a Japanese game.
Yeah,
you gotta have it, and characters gotta have it as well. I mean, they always like combine it with some smaller sort of dagger. I don't know what's it called, the Japanese dagger that samurais had with them. I think someone in the chat will definitely know it.
Yeah, I did look it up for the video, but I don't know it at the top of my head. I might be able to look it up as well. But of course, if you know it, let us know.
Yeah, but it would kind of make sense to have your katana with you and then switch to some other weapon. Maybe even it's like you find a weapon in the area and you can use it, like with maybe stationary weapons in Destiny or other type games, where you find a minigun or so, like that big weapon, and Yasuke finds this big chunky mace, and he's gonna use it, or that big pole arm that some of the gods of
the Yari spear, I think that's what it's called, like the regular spear that they had.
They had spears, they had pole arms.
Yeah,
I mean, wakizashi maybe.
Yeah, it's the wakizashi. I see some people say,
or the tanto.
Yeah, the tanto is
both,
the small. Both. No, the small one that. That's the small one that Naoe has. So more like a shinobi option, and Yasuke has the wakizashi. I think I pronounced it right. And that's of course what Jin in Ghost of Tsushima also uses as like a stealth weapon. So Yakusei will probably use that for stealth as well. And we already heard a bit, and I'm by the way gonna answer the question to the title of the video as well. But we're having a good discussion here, so let's keep going. But what is your overall feeling on the two protagonists? Because I kind of get what people are saying in a way where it's like, but basically they're making, like, we were first and like Eivor, someone who could do everything, or Cassandra, or like any other character, and now they're basically splitting a lot of those things in two, it feels like. So
basically two worlds.
Yeah, so you could also look at it from that angle where it's like, okay, so we have less freedom than before, right? Instead of
Mhm.
having more freedom because we have two characters. No, in combat you cannot switch from the sounds of it. So you will really have to go with the flow, which means, I mean, they're even saying Yasuke when in stealth, if you use the Wakasashi as like a weapon to stealth take down enemies, it will make some sound. So
Mhm.
it's like gonna be way harder to do stealth as him because he will also be way noisier when sneaking around. He seems to be slower than Naue as well. Cannot use the grapple hook. It kind of it feels like you're super handicapping him as like a stealth character. So yeah, then you're kind of forced to always basically be like, okay, I'm gonna do combat because I'm now playing Yasuke. While in the other games, it was of course fun to maybe try stealth first, and then okay, things are going sideways. I'm still a capable warrior. Let's go. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think those two characters, they might be a big chance to really specialize them. And I think that's really what they're going for with Naoe. She being an assassin, being able to use the new stealth system with the lights and all those advantages, sneaking into forts at night and taking advantage of the different seasons and the weather effects, etc., as we already heard of. That really sounds like we have a specialized assassin, and the first, I mean, in my opinion, it really sounds like a real stealth character now. Like Naoe seems to be the real first stealthy assassin, not only with social stealth, but with actual stealth gameplay in the way it was in Splinter Cell. That's always like the thing that comes to mind when you talk about those light effects, reflections on armors, making you visible for enemies. And yeah, now it gets me really excited. I think she will be a great character to play and like a really stealthy, rewarding character. While Yasuke, on the other hand, or Yasuke, he's like that brutal breaking in and that tall guy everyone was scared on the battlefield. In my opinion, it's a big chance that we have two characters to develop, maybe even one character to choose from the two, which we like most. But I think at some point we will be forced to play the other one. Yeah,
During
like
some points, yeah.
yeah. What do you think of that? Are we forced to play a certain character at some point?
I think they already kind of talked about it actually. Where and I'm gonna pull up the two characters here.
Might be, yeah.
Um, like I think they said that we have the intro, of course, for the two characters. I
Mhm.
think we will start the game
Yeah.
as Yasuke. I think we're coming on the ship, and we will see Japan for the first time because that's also one of the reasons they went with this character, and that's what I really liked
It
in the
is.
Shogun TV show as well. Is that you have an outsider that you as the
Coming
viewer are following as well, and all yeah his reactions are gonna be similar for you. You're like, whoa, the for the Western world, the customs in Japan are pretty interesting to see and quite different. So having an outside look at that, I think, is very interesting. And that's, of course, what made the Shogun TV show, I think, really, really
Yeah.
good. There's one part in particular, I don't want to give too many spoilers, where he's like, he is saying something where it's like, don't touch this. And they take it like super literal, like they... And then
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
someone touches it,
It was crazy.
yeah, it's like, and then you will know when you know. Like, I don't want to spoil too much, but watch that TV show, by the way, if you haven't already. That's like the perfect.
This is
way.
really like the perfect example for the clash of cultures. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I really liked, and that's what I think that Yasuke will give us as well. So I think they will start with that, and then I think we will go to Naue and kind of see her train with her father, become this
established Japanese person already knowing the system, how
Yeah.
everything works, and
And
Yeah.
then of course, her Iga province where she grew up and kind of I think stayed for her whole life will be attacked by Yasuke.
by
and,
Yasuke.
Yeah, and then I think the two will meet. So I think you will have the forced, like sort of, parts where you of course have to play both of them, which makes sense. Like if you could choose one or the other from the start, and they were really different and never were forced to go with the other, then you also don't know what you're missing, of course. And it makes
Yeah.
sense for the tutorials. But there do still seem to be points in the game where it's like, oh, you're gonna now storm this castle. How you want to do it? Naue or Yasuke, even
Want to
if
storm
you're...
it or stealth it?
Yeah, something like that.
Gets me excited gameplay-wise, and I want to try both. But also story-wise, it has a lot of potential.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even you can choose from 2 approaches to tackle a certain target or something, and it depends on what you choose, which character you choose, and the output might vary. So somehow like a Witcher 3 system where you have a different outcome depending on the character you choose to tackle that objective. And maybe Yasuke goes in, everybody knows about it, and
maybe
but
someone
with Naue,
dies
no one
because
will
of
know.
that. Yeah. That's gonna be interesting. We of course don't know if parts like that will be in the game.
It would be great. Yeah.
What they did talk about though, so apart from the introduction, you also have the like sort of personal things for them. Obviously, there will be some missions that you can only do with one character or the other. We've seen that we've seen that before as well, but it sounds quite different from Syndicate, where main missions could only be done with either Jacob or Evie. Like, this is really like...
With Syndicate, it was kind of pointless, I guess, that those 2 different characters were in the game.
I mean, near the end, of course, Jacob became more of a combat powerhouse, and Evie had some really cool stealth moves and could like carry double the amount of throwing knives and stuff, so it was kind of nice. But apart from that, not a lot was changed. And I really like that they give us more freedom from the sounds of it, where you have the introductions, you probably have some side missions, or maybe there's like one main mission for each character or whatever, that you really have to play as them, and then the rest you can just choose. And they even said that you can choose who responds as well. And we of course have to wait and see this in action, but that you'll see both characters in the cutscene, and it's like, okay, who do you want this to tackle this? Because again, and that's super exciting, they are very different in terms of what their motives. I mean, they of course have a similar motive probably, which hopefully a good motive.
Maybe, yeah.
But they also have their personal gains that they want to get probably throughout
Both
the game.
are Templars. Plot twist.
We will see. That would be pretty cool. But I mean, I don't think it's gonna be an Odyssey ending where they fight each other. I hope that that's not what they're gonna do, because that I don't think would make sense, because then you create 2 camps, and we know this game is gonna live for at least 2 years. So then having like a good guy and a bit, I don't know if that's gonna work, but we will see.
Yeah. My biggest fear is like that you only get attached to one of those characters, and I think it's really tough to get connected to 2 characters that you can play. Like, The Witcher 3 is always my favorite example for a character you get to know and get to love, and you stick with him, his motives, and his character development. And for 2 characters, it might be tough to like follow each and every of those characters.
But we will spend, and you watching, and you like, we all are like this dedicated. We will probably spend 100 hours with each character, so I don't worry about that. Unless you of course decide to only play one. But then you can play with the one you actually prefer. So I don't think that's that big of an issue. Like, that's also with people saying, I want like a Bayek sequel, where it's like, I mean, we already spent 150 hours if you like did everything plus the DLCs, and that was not the case with Ezio when he got the trilogy. So I'm fine moving on to new characters, we will kind of see how it goes. But I think it's a very fascinating system, at least, and we will of course learn way more during the Ubisoft Forward on June 10th. I, by the way, did a poll in the YouTube chat. If you're just joining, you can, of course, participate in that. I asked, do you like the fact that we have 2 characters instead of 1 who can do everything? And a lot of people actually like the fact that we have 2 characters. So that's cool to see.
It's a huge chance. And they kind of somehow just wanted to switch things up with that change, because, Syndicate was the last game with 2 characters, with Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, and Mirage with the single character setup, and now they have the chance to make those 2 characters tasty again.
Yeah,
as they try to with Syndicate.
yeah,
And the same thing as with Syndicate, they got the grappling hook back, which is great.
yeah. But now only one character can use it, so that's gonna be interesting. Maybe I hope that throughout the game or something, maybe they will like maybe Yasuke will at one point have the hood and be better in stealth or something like that. That you can kind of play as both characters in similar ways. But we will have to wait and see how that
Oh,
goes.
that would be fun, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we had this kind of brotherhood system in the game, and yeah, it might be just handy to have him acting more in the shadows. But at the same point, I'm asking if Naoe could be capable of doing the same things that Yasuke is doing physically, like holding the biggest pole arm in the world.
yeah, probably
So-
not. I don't know, but I do think that like my prediction really, because that's what happened with Mirage as well. I think she will be very strong in combat still, even though the developers are right now like, hey, if you are caught, run away, right? And that makes sense because I'm sure she will die in a few hits, while Yasuke can probably take a lot of damage. But I do feel that, and I think that's gonna be very cool to toy around with, if you get that Kusarigama under control, or damn, is that the name, right? I think that is for the flail with the sickle. If you get it under
Yeah.
control and maybe the hidden blade combat as well, you will probably be very, very strong. And the tools in Mirage were OP. Dropping a smoke bomb so you could instantly assassinate everyone. If Naoe is the only one who can use it, while Yasuke has to remove armor first, do all this, maybe she will be better in combat. Like, I would not rule stuff like that out, and we will of course figure that out when we get to play it. So I'm more scared for Yasuke in terms of stealth. He really seems like kind of annoying, and it will just be way slower, but also way more challenging if you want that. While I think Naoe will be really fun to try in stealth, because or in combat, because she has the tools that will be unique to her, and of course really cool unique weapons that will be interesting to toy around with. Because that's what I also said in my recent video. I really think the item packs, for example, they will be way less exciting with Naoe, because she will have, like, do you think they will have, I mean,
she will be dependent on the tools.
Do you think they will have different perks for her armor set versus Yasuke, even though it's the same pack?
They gotta have it, because those characters are extremely different. So it wouldn't make sense to give, like, e.g., 10 attack power simply because she will one-hit kill, assassinate, hopefully, anyways, and Yasuke will really gain something out of that attack power. They somehow, in my opinion, have to develop one armor set each, but they might be lazy as well. My prediction is that they will do different perks for it, but be visually similar. What is your prediction on that?
Yeah, no, of course, again, we already had, and I'm gonna pull them up here. I already showed, of course. For audio listeners, I basically showed the special edition, but I'm gonna like pull that up right here. I mean, we already know what they're basically gonna do, but let's see.
Yeah, also on a visual way, they are pretty close with the Ultimate Edition, I think. With the
with the Ultimate Edition, this is the Naoe
and the limited
outfit,
edition has,
and
I think, a part of the Ultimate Edition in it. Like,
yeah, it's basically the same. Only Yasuke has the helmet and of course way more a samurai-like outfit, while Naoe has more a hood and of course a.
Maybe outfits are just visual. Might be the case as well, but. Any thoughts on that?
I hope not.
Yeah, same, but
we can't go back to that.
Yeah, we almost had that in Mirage, and I didn't like it. I think the peak of that was in Odyssey, where they really had that RPG equipment, where you would like grind epic items which would be best in slot with the crit damage on full health and crit chance on full health. It was great in my opinion, but I also like to grind items, which I don't think is a usual thing for AC gamers.
I mean, for people that play the post-launch. I think it is. We will wait and see. But I do think
Yeah.
in Valhalla they knew that. I mean, they're of course gonna sell a lot of these outfits, and if they are only cosmetic, that I do think that will hurt the potential. If it really, I mean, a lot of the outfits later on did some crazy stuff, and that is of course what also made them way more interesting. So
The rocket swords in
yeah.
Valhalla.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get crazy stuff like that for sure. Phonix is saying, I think what we really all want to know is if the Uni Bear is back. That's the only question. That's also gonna be my first question that I'm asking. Let's hope so. I mean, they can probably bring the asset forward. You would hope.
Yeah.
They already created the Uni Bear.
They created it in the same engine. They might be able to keep those
Yeah.
assets. And we also had that in the past games, like assets from another game moving forward to the next
Oh yeah.
one.
Yeah. I by the way looked at that mount from the limited edition, that dragon, and compared it to the dragons we had in Valhalla, but it's new. It's new. I can confirm that it's not the same model they used.
I gotta admit, I'm really in love with the aesthetics of Assassin's Creed Shadows so far. I just love the combination of colors, and I think it looks great in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Hybrix Beast is asking, have you played this game yet? We both did not play this game yet. No, they're
Sadly
just not yet. They of course just did their cinematic reveal, and that's kind of the rollout usually. I mean, last year again, Mirage was not playable at Ubisoft Forward either. So
when were we playing it? I think was it August or September?
I think September was the event.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm
that game came out in
them
and
to
that
bring
game
it to
came out
Gamescom,
in
huh?
October. Yeah, Gamescom
Yeah.
would be perfect.
It would be awesome also for the players to just simply be able to play it at Gamescom. I
Yeah.
think the last playable game on Gamescom was Odyssey in 2018, where they also had the first playable version of Skull and Bones.
Oh my god.
That was fun. Yeah. Back then in 2018.
Yeah,
they
that was
already
when
had
it was still
playable.
like a match-based game, right? Like PvP only. Yeah. We have Il Stilo saying, I hope there's a lot of mythical content. We have not seen it yet, of course, but for Valhalla, I don't think they were teasing a lot of mythical content either. I mean, they had, of course, Odin in the trailer, but that had some story relevance.
You always have these two camps. One is asking for mythical Isu content. The other one is saying only historical content. That's what I want in AC.
Time for another poll. For another poll. Do you like the mythical content in Assassin's Creed? But then, of course, we are talking about the mythology aspects of the settings, not all the other stuff that's of course happening in the game. We will see. I mean, I hope that they are, but I think they're gonna do an Odyssey, but they're not gonna maybe get as crazy. Like overall, the game seems way more grounded in a way that both Naue and Yasuke are not doing any crazy like superpower moves so far.
Apple of Eden, everyone's dead.
Yeah. No, I don't think we're probably gonna see that, but I do think they will. I mean, it would suck if we went to Japan and not touch on the mythical stuff, right? Although
we have to somehow.
Yeah.
At least if we're on a trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah. Or Valhalla did that as well, of course, with the mushrooms.
Yeah.
That's how we. And of course, that you went to the mythical parts. But what I don't like about that is that it was all a dream. So in Asgard and Jotunheim, you did not get any loot because it was a dream.
It was a dream, yeah, but an interesting one, kind of.
Yeah, no, of course. But I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. I'm expecting this sick armor at the end. But no, we did not get anything like that. But I would not mind it if they save it for the DLCs, because of course they're gonna do a Fate of Atlantis or a sort of what was it called for Origins? Curse of the Pharaohs. They're gonna do one of those. They're gonna totally do one of those. Dawn of Ragnarok style maybe. But yeah, I think the base game might be pretty grounded.
A little bit more grounded, yeah. with the brotherhood focus and
Yeah.
the cultural focus, and then we get some mythical stuff in the second DLC. I mean, it kind of worked for those last games, and I really liked it. Same thing for Atlantis DLC. I loved that. Pharaoh's DLC was awesome. We had like yeah, I mean for Valhalla, I really prefer the Jotunheim DLC. I think it was the free one, right?
Oh,
Uh,
the yeah, no, the
the
yeah,
roguelite. Yeah.
yeah.
It was great. Hopefully they bring
I mean,
that
yeah,
back
it
as a
was.
free DLC as well.
We went to Helheim, I think, for that DLC, right?
Yeah, it might be Helheim as
Yeah,
well. And
yeah, yeah.
Jotunheim was the big one, the paid one. Yeah.
The Svartalfheim, the Dawn of Ragnarok.
Oh, so many
Yeah,
different
yeah, yeah.
worlds.
I
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
no, no.
yeah.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
But
User
yeah,
Unknown is saying you should discuss the AC Shadows doing well in pre-orders. I mean, that is of course one of the things we saw. I mean, I saw
is it
someone else.
doing well?
Yeah, yeah. No, Tom Henderson, who of course has sourced at Ubisoft, said that everyone at Ubisoft he talked to was happy with the pre-order so far, and actually PlayStation Game Size, of course, the Twitter
Mhm.
account, a lot of people know. He also reached out saying that, like with screenshots of like the PlayStation Store and how it was like number one. And which edition do you think is the most popular?
I think for most of the games, it should be the standard edition because you never know what you get. And if you love the game so much, you can simply just get an add-on. I
Yeah.
myself, if I was a consumer, I would totally get that gold edition, I think, with the
For the
DLC.
yeah, for the 3 days early also.
And also for the early access, yeah, I think so. I think the Ultimate Edition is a little bit too expensive just for a item pack. And
Yeah, but it was the most successful one.
it was, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, they're asking $130, which is a lot. Like it's almost
I mean,
double
as a
the price."
diehard fan who
Again,
knows I'm gonna play it anyways, and
Yeah.
you think the aesthetics of that outfit is just too awesome to skip it.
I mean, you know, I'm not sure if that's in Germany as well. Probably is, right? But concert tickets, how expensive that nowadays is. If I want to go to 21 Pilots next year, and it's like €100 for one concert.
It's just insane.
I mean,
yeah.
that will be one night. I will be playing Assassin's Creed Shadows for 2 years. So I'm just saying, like, of course, it's still a lot of money. But I do think what we also said, like with Valhalla launching 4 years ago, it's been a while. It's not like they are going back to the yearly release thing for these big RPG games where they are asking 130 every year. No, it's like a one in some time thing. And yeah. But it's crazy that was the most successful one. It shows you once again that the internet's kind of a bubble. And on the other hand, I do think that in the end, what you're saying, the standard edition will be the most popular one because that's the most mainstream one. But right now, of course, the people who are pre-ordering are the most hardcore. So they're like,
they are pretty hardcore. They are fans. They love the franchise. They are excited for a next main Assassin's Creed game. I mean, 4 years. That's almost half a decade. It's insane.
Yeah.
I can't believe Valhalla has been away that long. And yeah, I'm really excited for the long-term support of that game.
Yeah, I think
3 years.
it's gonna get crazier.
They did that with Valhalla, and I think they want to bring it to the next level with
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Shadows and
I mean,
have awesome support.
I mean, Odyssey already had something new every week. So for Valhalla, they had way
Those
more
legendary events. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but if Valhalla, they had way more resources, like the stuff we got for free in that game, the mastery challenges, the Tombs of the Fallen, that Forgotten Saga is what it's called, the free roguelite mode, all that sort of stuff. If you give all those resources to the Odyssey team, I don't know what we will probably see a ton. I want to do a few more things before we end the show here because we want to go for an hour and 15 minutes.
Time is running out. Yep.
Yeah. So I again had a poll. Do you like mythical content in Assassin's Creed? 68% says yes, and 32% right now says no. So that kind of shows you. I mean, we're like the audience watching here is also more a fan of the RPG games, and I think mostly the people who prefer a game like Mirage are like, don't get that mythical thing in my game, but or do not. Yeah. So. It's of course like who you're asking, but I think it also for the RPG, it makes sense to add it, right? Because at one point, I'm kind of over fighting the same human bandits. I want to fight, I want a cool boss fight. And in the older Assassin's Creed games, boss fights did not really work. While in the new games, they do. Yeah, can have a ton of cool mechanics, which we also saw in Forgotten Saga. They had really cool bosses. So yeah, I'm all for the mythical content, but I would not mind it if they kept it for the DLC. Like, just give us a more grounded Japan base game, and then we kind of move from there. And of course, we'll have a post-launch trailer where they at one point tease a freaking, I don't know, Japanese dragon or whatever.
Well, yeah, they will somehow give us a taste of what the DLC could look like.
Yeah.
Maybe just a small portion of mythical stuff will be in the base game, in my opinion.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, it sounds great. So.
Yeah, I want to answer the question, and then we go to of course, the prediction at the end. So the question, like, how am I feeling? You, of course, already answered it. I'm feeling great as well. It's mostly right now because, again, we've only seen the cinematic trailer and some screenshots. It's mostly that I just really, I'm just confident in the Quebec team. Like, they have delivered, even with Immortals after Odyssey and with Odyssey, against all, like, when Odyssey was announced, a lot of people were really not high on the game. And even when it came out, a lot of people were like, this is not Assassin's Creed. And if you look at the first trailers for that game, there was no hoot. It was only like jumping off high buildings with your Spear of Leonidas, boom, explosions, doing a Spartan kick, and the enemy was flying all over the map. Everyone was like, what the heck is this? Why are you putting the Assassin's Creed game name on this game? And they proved everyone wrong. Like, they really created a new audience for this series. Something that Origins was kind of supposed to do and totally did. But Odyssey took it to the next level. Like, everyone, if you're asking anyone, they're mostly like, I like Odyssey the most of the trilogy. And I think that's also because they were not afraid to try to be really bold with new stuff that they did. And they did it in such a great way. So, if you have that team now doing this ambitious setting with an extra year of development time, Shadows is going for 4 years instead of 3 that we saw with Odyssey. Way more resources.
Studios.
Yeah, exactly. There are thousands of people working on this game. And they really show that they can take... I mean, Immortals, if you look at that, they took a lot of learnings from Odyssey to that game. And we just have not seen the second RPG iteration of an Odyssey. So I'm really just curious what it will be like. And I think going out of the gate, saying that we are not alienating the old school Assassin's Creed fans this time. Go play Naue. But, of course, if you like how Alexios played, here we have Yasuke, and you can still go crazy. I think that's just a cool way to do it. And they're for the first time, and this was really needed, and Valhalla dropped the ball on this big time. Valhalla felt in many situations kind of like a step back. Like, the stealth was not as fun as in Odyssey or even like the older games. And the RPG elements were not... like, they were doing everything, but they were not excelling in anything. And
yeah, I think Valhalla was just flooding us with items that were pointless because you didn't need them. So, yeah.
There were
Odyssey
just... there are many systems that did not work well, and I think now with Shadows, they are really looking at, okay, how can we actually evolve stealth for the series as a whole? And Valhalla, it was really like, oh, you like that feature in the old games? We're bringing it back, but way worse than it was before. And like, is that exciting? Social stealth is back. I never used it. I never used it, but like, yeah, it's back, right? And now it really sounds like, hey, we're gonna destroy these torches. You can create your own shadow. We have the grapple hook again, which is gonna be exciting, but it will work a bit in a different way. You can actually assassinate people from there as well. You can use it to get to sort of like other sides of the ceiling, and then kind of stay there and wait for the enemy to come. It really seems like this will be a next level stealth experience as well, while still giving us kind of the combat and RPG elements that we want. So the promise is really there. The seasons, I think, sound great.
Yeah.
with the,
Seasons get me hyped most, to be honest.
yeah. I mean,
That in combination with stealth.
Yeah,
In summer
yeah.
you have those brighter, longer days, but in winter the lake is frozen and those ice shards fall down. You make a noise. It's just it sounds like really refreshing gameplay and switching up the thing.
Yeah. For me, with the seasons, I'm kind of still like, sure, it sounds really cool, but I'm still worried that they're just a gimmick in the end. Because if I'm playing this camp in summer and in winter and there are different routes I can take, is there not gonna be just one that works for both? Like, is there really going to be... Like, there are always going to be multiple routes through a camp. And I would not be surprised if... Or maybe the things falling down so you make a sound in the winter doesn't matter because you're super fast. Like, I want to wait and see. That to me really sounds like, okay, show, don't tell. Because sure, on paper it sounds great, but if the AI is still stupid or whatever, then it won't work. So we will have to wait and see. So I'm kind of holding my fingers crossed for that. But all the other stuff, I think, sounds interesting. And of course, having new animations with the Anvil Next engine, like, it should really... Not having the bird, so we don't have that idle animation where the bird comes to sit on your shoulder or a hand, and I'm over that. It's cool that that's gone. Okay, then to round out the show, I see a lot of people chatting as well. Thanks for that. If you, by the way, want to ask a question for the next show, you can, of course, watch live. Again, we're live next week, same time. So,
next week, I'm not here, unfortunately, but you will get someone in.
Yeah. I will probably ask Joyce if she can join, and that will be a good thing. But yeah, we will of course try to do it together. But sometimes I'm gone, or Frankie Boy is gone.
Or I'm gone.
So, but yeah, if you want to ask a question as well, you can go to the Discord. Thanks, Ben, Random Aussie, there for putting that in the YouTube chat. Go to JorRaptor.com/Discord, and there you will see an Assassin's Creed or Assassin's Cast channel where you can also put a question, and then we will look at that and maybe answer it here on the show for if you cannot watch it live. But yeah, we want to end with a prediction real quick. What is yours?
We want to. My prediction is that
wait.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We have to kind of explain it real quick. So at the end of every episode, we want to do a prediction for what we think will be happening in the game or whatever, and then we're gonna like write it down, and at the end when the game launches, see who was right, because then we of course know all the features that are in the game.
Then we will collect points, and the one with less points
will buy the other one all the Helix items in the shop.
Whoa! I'm gonna go broke. I'm gonna go broke. So let me start with my prediction right here. My prediction is that Naue will have a shadow cloak ability, making her unseen even in light for a short period of time. So.
Ooh, she will be invisible, basically, like we saw in Odyssey as well.
Yeah, maybe not invisible, but it will make her as if the light was turned out. Let's say it this way.
Okay, yeah. So you can for a short time still sneak by.
Yeah.
Okay. That's that's
more like an OP stuff, but maybe there will be in the game.
Yeah, I mean Odyssey had it, Syndicate had it as well, but I don't think you could move in Syndicate like that. But that's interesting. For me, it's. I have multiple predictions, but some are like for the far future. But maybe I will be able to ask it, and if they say no, then it won't count. And otherwise, like my biggest prediction is, and maybe this should not count, but I think they will add an extra character post-launch.
Okay.
But I
was thinking about that already.
Yeah.
When thinking about the DLCs or so. Like,
I think
that
they will.
system with the Brotherhood and the Hideout, it seems to be made for kind of adding in characters. But at the other hand side, I was thinking, yeah, but you have too many characters and then you won't get bound to any of those.
Yeah.
Let's see. But yeah, it might be happening.
Yeah, that we get like a that will have like a completely different playstyle. But I don't think that will count for this one. So I'm gonna say at launch there will not be a way to change seasons in the game.
Mm. Okay. So you changed your mind and now you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I just want to throw that one out there so that I'm like so that no one. So that I just had that in my mind, wanted to throw it out there. I think they will add more characters post-launch. But
say
for
it's
our
not possible to change seasons, right?
yeah, that's my prediction for what we will know at launch.
Mm.
Because that's of course a
Yeah.
big thing. Like that at the end of the game we will be stuck at one season, and then maybe post-launch they will add a patch where at the settlement or whatever we can do it. That's
Or
my-
seasons will roll through like every 10 hours. There's a new season of in-game time that you
Yeah.
spend in the game. Might be as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the changing seasons feature will come. I agree. I think it's a great prediction. Yeah. So
We will see.
maybe you will
We
get
will
a
see.
point
Did
there.
you write it down? I heard you type something.
I wrote it down
Very
in,
good.
our,
Very good.
in our Discord.
Oh,
yeah.
nice. One question real quick and then we end the show. Do you think AC Shadows, I just saw this question a couple of times, will have the Unity level parkour? Yes or no?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah? Only for Nawe then.
Yeah. I think so.
I don't want
Maybe
to.
even-
I think it will be different, but some will argue better.
Mm.
Ooh, and we're gonna leave it at that. So thanks everyone for watching. Again, if you have any questions for future episodes, check the Discord. Ben, would be great if you could share that again. We have a dedicated channel there, of course. Accept the rules. We will be back next week, same time, but then I will be with Joyce. But then the week after that, I'm sure Frankie
Yeah.
Boy,
Thank you so
will
much
be back.
for having me.
Yeah,
And,
of course.
Have a great week, everyone.
Yeah, everyone, thanks for joining. And of course, check Frankie Boy on YouTube as well if you want more English gaming content. And we will see you very soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.